Now to this. Michigan State University taking on what they call bigoted phrases as part of their annual inclusive language guide. Get this. Some of those potentially offensive words on the list include America when talking about the United States, and terrorists when referring to religious extremists. Also on the list, Christmas trees, bunnies, overweight, and nuts. Michigan State explains the crackdown, saying, quote, the origins of seemingly innocuous idioms or words may be racist, sexist, or ableist in nature. Audrey Whipple is a campus reform correspondent at Michigan State University. She joins me now. Audrey, this is nuts. What's going on?
Yeah, Michigan State has done this before. We've seen universities put out these inclusive language guides, these harmful language guides, and Michigan State has just gone too far, right? Like you said, some of the words included on this list are Christmas tree, bunnies, just these words that are everyday language, and ultimately what they're doing is ostracizing just the everyday American and deeming that language harmful, which we just know to be not harmful, right?
But wait, Audrey, there's more. More terms and words considered offensive are cakewalk, tipping point, rule of thumb, founder, and bonkers. I would go so far as to say this list is not only nuts, it's bonkers as well. Look, people with jobs, families, responsibilities don't sit around coming up with ridiculous lists like this. So, Audrey, who's pushing this?
Yeah, the school claims to be trying to push this in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But it's very clear to me that this is just another attempt to ensure that progressive ideology is on campus. Again, like I said, even including many of these terms that are traditionally associated with Christian holidays. I certainly don't feel that as a Christian or as a conservative on campus that the school is worried about making sure that my views are included, right? I'm a pro-life activist on campus. Following the fall of Roe, Michigan State sent out a mass email basically expressing their deep concern. So for me, that was horrifying to know, right? They claim to be inclusive and to be pushing for a diverse thought, but obviously they take very clear positions on things, and this is just a merely political push again. So.
Yeah, your diverse thought is irrelevant to the campus of Michigan State and many, if not most, other colleges. And that's sad because that is not what a university college system is supposed to be. With this guide as the guide for your campus, will there be any words left?
Yeah, that's my question as well. This is just a ridiculous standard to live by. This list just continues to grow and grow, these terms that are deemed harmful, that everyday Americans are using. And in my mind, professors and students are going to be now worried so much about the social shame that comes with even just using the words that they're used to using. Right? Professors are going to spend more time actually drafting emails and figuring out exactly how to word things so as not to offend someone. More time spending doing that than actually teaching their classes, right? Then students are actually being able to spend time focusing on learning, right? I think there's this ultra hypersensitive culture is ultimately harmful for students, especially in an educational setting where we should be able to have free thought, free use of language and honest conversations, right? Not worrying about offending people with just standard language that we've used forever.
That is such an important point because, my background as a lawyer, and I spent a lot of time when you write a document, every word does need to be precise because there's legal ramifications to those words. But a document, let's say a letter in that instance, takes a really long time to craft because you're constantly going over the language. If everybody does that, one, in normal conversation, and two, normal email writing, nothing will get done. It will be absolutely insane. Last question to you, Audrey. Why? Why does the left seem so eager to destroy free speech?
Well, ultimately, you can never be certain of every individual's intentions, but at least in my mind, it does seem clear that these places of higher education are now being used to, again, push that progressive ideology. And the very places that should be so open to conversation are now the places that seem most shut down. At least for me as a Christian, I can only assume that some of it might have to do with the history of Christianity's opposition to some of these ideologies. But again, now we're getting into a different territory, not even just with what they would consider extreme Christian or conservative language, but even just more everyday language. Leadership Institute's campus reform previously reported that Brandeis University was even deeming similar words harmful, even deeming words like police or picnic as harmful. So I think they're just getting to a point where they've gone too far with it, and I think they just need to walk it back, right? They should have walked it back a long time ago, but it's gone much too far, and it's just ridiculous at this point. I'm
just thinking of all the books in my own home that now need to be banned because they contain the word bunny. And most of these books are for my 2-year-old. So I'm going to have to tell the little one, we got to get rid of these books because they reference bunnies. And Michigan State doesn't want you referencing bunnies. Does that make sense? It does not. Audrey Whipple, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
George.